Hello Internet, my name is Olivierr. I'm a mural artist in London, and this is going to be a video about the tools I use all the time. People often ask me about if I've got a link or something about where I got a funny traffic cone and all that stuff, and I normally don't, but this time I signed up with Amazon affiliate links, so you can see all of these tools and everything I'm going to talk about today. It's going to be in the description below, so click the link. And if you buy anything, I get a bit of a kickback from Amazon, which helps me make those videos. If you say in the US, for example, just remove the .co.uk after Amazon and just put .com, and the links tend to work. Right. Also, I've got loads of papers all around the workshop. I'm working on a course and a book. This is my second book or third book, depending. And it's going to be about everything about murals. So it's going to talk about, there are going to be 4 separate courses. One about spray painting, one about airbrushing, one about brushes and paint effects. And the last one is going to be more about how to deal with clients or be around clients and how to quote, and also how to do all the major things that you need to know about doing murals, basically how to do grids, how to paint cars, how to paint portraits, and I'm really going into detail about a lot of things. I painted a portrait, was it yesterday, 2 days ago? And it was all about going in depth, really. These videos are going to be long, and I've really tried to put as much info as possible in all those videos. So the courses should be ready in about less than a month, and the book, I don't know, maybe 5 months, 6 months. It normally takes a while to write a book, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, going back to this. So as I say, all the links are below, so check them out. I'm going to start with this. This is a toolbox. It took me ages to get a good toolbox. I've had loads, and as some of you know, I build props and all kinds of carpentry or whatever, as well as doing murals. Sometimes my clients have like crazy ideas and they want props, whatever. So I often have to carry like heavy tools, like a circular saw or whatnot. And I need a toolbox that can handle pretty much all of that. This is a really good one. I've had other ones before, like the typical Stanley, the box one with a lid. I always break those lids. I've had all sorts of different ones. I'm 100 kilos, and this one can easily take my weight, no problem. It's got wheels, and also it's got a seal, a yellow seal. It's a bit manky, but whatever. So when it rains, which it happens to do quite a bit in the UK, when it rains, all your stuff stays dry, so that's really cool. It's really robust. The wheels don't seem to break. The only thing that seems to break from time to time is the handle. I had one that I kept a couple of years, and the handle broke. But I guess 2 years is not bad. This one I actually removed for one that's a bit more ergonomic when I'm traveling. So this is pretty good. I highly recommend it. Check it out. One quick thing that's not on the list. I got this. Was painting a couple of days ago with like some baking sun. Here we either get rain or a lot of sun. And having something like this, especially when you got a skin like mine, like very sensitive, this is great. Recommend this. Looks very goofy. But honestly, to avoid the sunburn, I don't care. Looks great. Looks like a beekeeper. Get one of those, they're brilliant. Right, this is a traffic cone, and it's perfect. When I sometimes take the car when I go to jobs, but a lot of the time traffic is crazy. Like if I'm working in Angel, it's £7 per hour for parking. I mean, what? So a lot of the time I'll be taking the public transport. So that's why I need a box and a bag, and I've got everything as tight as possible. I've got other things. I didn't take my ladder. I'll show it in a B-roll. My ladder's brilliant. I've got made some wheels to travel with it. But anyway, so you need to have as many things as possible and as light, as compact as possible. So this is really cool. It's called, I think it's called a collapsible traffic cone. And you just put it like that. And you got something very slim. It's perfect. It actually comes with a light. I guess if you're working at night, which I never use, but this is brilliant. I've got 2 of those, so I can have some normally masking tape, tape it to the wall, tape it to this one, next one, and back to the wall. So it allows me a bit of protection when you're working in the street on the pavement. For health and safety, you kind of need something. So if anything was to happen, you can always say, and it's always good to take pictures of the setup when you protected everything. So if anybody was to get injured, at least if they make a claim, you got some kind of protection. So those are really, really cool. Very essential. This is a 3M mask. I use two, 4251, 4251 and 0691 or something. I'll put they're in the links. These masks are great. I've used them for years. By the way, I'm not sponsored by anybody, but like I said, the affiliate links might give me a bit of kickback, which could be good because I need to make at least 3 sales before it runs out. And it's been 4 months and I've only got 2 months. So please buy something. These ones go like that. And they really stick to your face. They're brilliant. They're disposable once you can't breathe properly, or if you smell the paint, that means they're dead. So you get rid of them and you get another one. I had a bit of a problem with the audio. The microphone got tucked into my shirt. So I'm just going to finish by doing a voiceover, and I'm going to go through the products on Amazon. Next up, we got gloves. I like black gloves unless I'm working unless it's the summer, and then I'll wear these are white, but I'll wear clear gloves. There's a video on in the course about how to paint portraits, and I'm painting in the sun, and I've got clear gloves on just because if you have black gloves, it will literally be too hot. The plastic and the fact that it's black just makes your hands too hot. So it's good to have two. So I normally have the black and the clear, and they work well. These are nitrile, which is some type of plastic. You don't want latex because with the spray paint it dissolves them. So after 10 minutes, your gloves just tear. These ones will tear, but it takes a lot longer. So I recommend these. They're really good. Next up, we have my trusty ladder. Actually, somebody stole this. This was a really good ladder, and it's ideal for a wall that's up to 3 meters. I'm 6'2", so or a meter 87. So for that, these ladders work great. But since somebody stole it, the one I've got now is 3.2, which I think is there. So it's a bit more. I bought it for £40, but obviously that was a few years ago, so it goes up. The 3.2 meter ladder is about 10 kilos, so it's quite heavy. I made wheels for it, so it's easier to transport. But the 2 meter one is actually ideal for pretty much most jobs. When the wall is, most walls in the UK at least are 2.5 meters tall, and a ladder this big, regardless of your height, more or less is gonna do. So I would recommend either get a 2 meter or get a 3.2 meter ladder. Anything in between, it's kind of unnecessary. And after that, you'd want to go quite a lot higher. Another thing as well, if you want versatility and you're driving, you might want to get a telescopic step ladder, because obviously this has to be leaned onto a whatever. You have to lean this onto a wall. But if you're working in the middle of, like, say on the ceiling or whatever, then you'll need a telescopic step ladder. But the weight quickly adds up. So if you're looking to travel in a public transport like I do, it gets really heavy. So you might just want to get a telescopic ladder. If you get one and it's really wobbly, it'll take a few days to get used to the fact that it's really wobbly. But honestly, as I said, I'm quite heavy. I'm 100 kilos, and I've used, well, actually both ladders for quite a while, especially the tall one, for years, and it's fine. So don't worry, you just need to get used to it. Next, I can't find this stupid thing. I don't know where I put it, but it's brilliant. It's USB-C, like all my gadgets, and it sounds great. It's nice and small when you're working. It's really good. Highly recommend this. It's nicely a speaker. I finally switched to iPhone because of the camera. My Samsung was kind of letting me down, so I switched to iPhone. Still not loving the operating system, but whatever. And this is a magnetized power bank, so you don't actually need the cable. Most of the time when I go paint, I run out of... actually, whoever got iPhone 15 something, And the battery is really good. I can do like a full day without any battery bank. But as I'm filming a lot of the time, you know, it's not enough. I need a bit of extra juice. And this battery is really cool. If you see any links that are not working, just put in comments and I'll just change them. Example, this is a really cool power bank, which I bought, I think, a couple of times. It's currently unavailable, so I've put a different link to something similar. These are really cool. As you can see, this is a UK plug, but they have different ones if you're in the US, if you're in Europe, whatever. Those things are great. Get one that's 100 watts. Don't get anything less than 100 watts, otherwise it can't really cope with a lot of things. And get something that's going to last long enough. The reason I use this is for my projector. I find when I'm at a client and they want me to do a painting somewhere and trace, instead of having to carry an extension cord, I can just have this on with the tripod, and the whole thing is mobile. So I can project onto this wall, go into the next room, project onto another wall, and I don't have to look for a plug. It just goes into this. These work well for anything like a projector, a laptop, anything like your tech gadgets. But the moment you start having something like a toaster, a kettle, or anything demanding, then it doesn't really work. Even a motor, like a small motor, won't really work on this. You need a bit more. I've got a bigger, beefier battery, which is 300 watts, and I can use like a electric sander with it, but that's about it. Then you need to go much bigger. But these are really cool on the go, and obviously you can, with the USB-C and USB-A, you can use you can charge your phone many times, so they're really cool to have. Next up, we have something that everybody's asking me what the link is. So this is not actually the one I have. My one's a white one, and I think it's Mogo 1, which is the one before. But they stopped making that one, so this is this is the second one. This thing is really good. However, the biggest drawback from this projector is the fact that on the top you got some controls, but it's just for the sound or whatever. But the biggest drawback is you have to use a remote control. And I've been on jobs where I forgot to bring the remote control, and I literally had to go back home. So I bought a second one. So now I've got 2 remote control in my kit, just in case I forget one. So that's the biggest drawback. But apart from that, they're brilliant. They've got a speaker, they've got a built-in battery, so they're really cool. And you may ask, why do I need an external battery then if it's got a battery? It's because my battery is pretty much dead. I've had the projector for about 2 years, and the battery it doesn't hold charge anymore. So it's really cool for the first year or so, but then the battery will not last very long anymore. But yeah, if you get one of those, highly recommend. Very cool. They got another one. This is XGMI Mogo Pro. They have this one, a Halo whatever. And people say it's really good. I don't know, I've never used it. It's just a lot more expensive. A lot of the time you see it says 4K, but a lot of the time it's only 1080p, and then it upscales to 4K. So it's not an actual 4K at all. Like these little ones, they will say 1080p, but it's only 720 upscale to 1080, and you can tell the difference. This video is obviously addressed at Mural artist, and you see here 1920 by 1080. That's 1080. Between 720p and 1080p, there's a massive difference. You can see what you're tracing with a lot more detail. So if you get a projector and you can afford it, I highly recommend a 1080. If you can't, obviously get a 720. But yeah, I used to have a 720 projector, or even 480p. And with a 1080p, there's a massive difference. Highly recommend this. Next up, we have this. I have this on my keychain. For some reason, it stopped working, but it doesn't matter. It's more about having one of those. You should always have one of those. They're very handy.
USB-C allows me to connect it to my phone, and on the other side you've got USB-A on this side. You can't really tell. Let me see. Yeah. So you got USB-A on one side and USB-C on the other. So I can connect this to my phone, put a picture in there, and then connect it to the projector, and then trace something. And some of you may think, well, why don't you prepare everything at work and then do it like that? But a lot of the time, clients will change their mind and ask you, oh, actually, could you do this instead? So that allows me to go online, find a picture or something, and then put it in this USB key, and then put it on the projector, and then trace the image. So that's only like the £5-6. So having one of those is really useful. Also have some type of dongles. I find these are super useful. Sometimes you run out of battery, and then maybe somebody's got an iPhone charger and you've got Android phone or something. So having one of those dongles will save you bacon sometimes. Just have a mix of adapters, micro USB and all that stuff. I find these are really cool to have in your kit. This has turned out to be a lot more useful than I thought it would be. Having this on my keys all the time. I know I've got a light on my phone, but just having an extra light like this is very cool. This is a low beam and high beam, and you charge it with USB-C, like all my gadgets. Recommend having this. Next up, we have this. This is brilliant. This is a laser. So whenever I want to trace a picture, make sure it's straight, or if I'm writing text, this is perfect. But I had another one with AA batteries or AAA batteries, and I've been on a job where I ran out of battery and then I was stuck. So I got this one instead. This is USB-C again. And I've actually been in the street where I ran out of juice with this. Actually, I was a client, ran out of juice, and I connected an external power bank, and it allowed me to carry on working. So if you get a laser, as you can see, they're not expensive. That's £30. But get one that's USB-C or whatever, so you can charge it on the go. It will come in handy. I don't recommend the red one. You can't see the red one as well as the green one. Sometimes when there's a lot of sun, you'll just about see the green one, but the red one is... I used to have red ones years ago. I stay away from those. Get a green one, much better. This is also in the same way to trace, to do text and everything. Having a chalk line, I find is really, really cool. Sometimes old school techniques are better, so it's good to have both, just in case there's too much light, too much sun, and you can't see the laser. This is actually cool. Also, you can get those powder things in different colors. I like to get white and black and make a light gray, because I paint a lot of gray backgrounds. You see it less. If you go to Leyland or any type of shops, they'll sell a blue one and a red one, and honestly, don't get those because they'll stick out and you'll see that in your work. It's not ideal. Next, we have this. It's a tape that I bought a couple of times. It's really cool because it's wide. Anything from Stanley that's Fatmax is really useful. I've got another one which is 8 meters, but it's just a bit heavy. And when you've got a ton of spray cans and other things in your kit, it just makes the whole thing heavy. And most of what I measure is only 5 meters or so. So I find this tape is really spot on. It's I highly recommend it. If you're in Europe, you can get the same with only meters, and if you're in US, you can get meters and just inches. But in the UK, we like to make things complicated, so we have inches and meters. So yeah, get the one that's good for you. Next, we have this. This is, again, USB-C light. You can charge it with USB-C. It says you can charge your phone, but that's kind of pointless. But it will last for about... I've got one in the shed and I use on and off, and it lasts for about 2-3 weeks. It holds the charge pretty well, and if you have it on continuous, it'll be on for like a couple of hours. So when you're working, sometimes it's a bit dark or dim. So I recommend having a light like this. I actually took out the yellow handle and stuff to make it smaller. It's got some silly red and blue light for some reason. But yeah, those are really cool. If you get one, obviously you don't have to get that one, but get one that has a big battery. This is 10,000 milliamp battery. If you get one that's too small, it will basically, you'll have to charge it all the time. It's a bit pricey, but it's very useful to have one of those. We got Poscas. I'm sure you've used Poscas. I wasn't big on those bullet tips, but they actually work better than chisel tips, I found. I find they're really good for most jobs. Most of the time I use them for tracing logos and stuff for clients, and yeah, those are really, really handy. They're a bit expensive, but they work really well. Also, if you're into airbrushing, you can open these, and you have to open them counterclockwise, and you may need a pair of pliers because they got some glue. But the paint that you got on there, you don't get much, but the paint that you got on there works pretty well with an airbrush. And that's pretty much all the gadgets I use on a regular basis. But maybe there's something that you use that could benefit other artists. So please put it in the comments and let us know what you use and you recommend having in kits all the time. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.